One of the ways you can get around the limitations of whatever you're using to generate animation is through the use of chroma keyed layers within your video editor. And in the case of this particular shot, kind of a side-scrolling look with quite a bit of activity going on, in order to have the degree of control over this clip that I needed, I opted to film it in multiple layers and then piece those together in the editor. There were a couple of reasons for this. The primary one was I could not get the camera to reliably fixate on the lead character while moving across with all this other action going on. And then there's also the aspect of you can't get cars to behave like this in this particular game that I used to make this animation. So layer 1 that you've got is just a background of the stores and characters inside the buildings. The second layer is the priest character against a green screen, and then I have chromed that out so that he appears to be walking along that street. The third layer is foreground props and characters. So for example, the street lights, the items on the street, other characters on the street that are more in the foreground than our main character. And again, those are chromed. And finally, layer 4 are the cars. And in this case, I not only chromed those layers in, but I also sped them up so that they would move faster. And then I added a Gaussian blur to those clips, but applied the Gaussian blur only in a horizontal fashion so that it simulated more of a motion blur of a car speeding by. In actuality, those cars were being filmed against a green background while sitting completely still, and it was the camera that was moving by those. So that creates the illusion of motion. This was to get around the limitation of the fact that I could not get the cars to behave in that fashion. Here's another shot that you can see fully assembled of an overhead street shot, and it's exactly the same concept. All of those moving cars were filmed individually by moving the camera, not moving the car. And this one was particularly tricky. The side scroller was easy because all you have to do is move consistently from left to right. In this overhead shot, I had to keep the camera at exactly the right height and proceed forward at that exact same height in order to keep the sense of perspective. If you take on this kind of technique, there really is no limit to what you can do in your animated film, bringing together footage from all kinds of different sources and fabricating scenes that would not otherwise be possible. おやー、とやたたい、ほい